everyone. Hello. It's Monday, and I'm Terry Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer. If you are joining us for the first time, this is a comfy chat, and we just talk about all kinds of stuff. Now, it does usually feature on the Disney front, so if that's not your thing, I get it. If it is your thing and you've been enjoying this channel, please consider subscribing and ring that little bell. Right now I'm doing just completely lives, but I will be recording later, and there are playlists that you are very welcome to check out if you'd like. So there you go. There we go. That's better. For some reason, and weird stuff was happening. Okay. What can you say about weird stuff happening? It's overcast here. Not that you need a weather report about Southern California, but I thought I'd tell you. And let's start outright with the dinosaur stories. As I mentioned last month, I have a bit of Dinosaur the TV show bling, and I'd like to invite you to tell me a story that's very special to you about dinosaurs. And I'm going to give away some dinosaur bling from when I was on the show. So from 1993, a lot of it comes from there. Just email it to me, and I'm going to show you where to email it to. I probably should have had this before, but here you go. Pardon me, right here. Email me your story. I've got a few stories coming in, but I'd like a few more. And then at the end of the month, I will start sharing this bling. And newsflash, the Dinosaurs, the TV show with Not the Mama, has dropped in the UK. So the UK now is watching it. I know, because my little friend Bella has been just glued to the TV set, watching it. So that's that announcement. Today I am kind of skating with my title. I know you're kind of looking at it going, why are you saying Marvel versus DC? I know Marvel is all about Disney, so I feel I'm right on point here, because the question for me on the outside looking in is, why is this so difficult? Okay, for DC. I don't understand it. And my husband then tries to explain it. No. You guys can explain it to me in a minute, but I would love to give you what I'm thinking about it, because a few things happened this weekend. I actually watched a very, very long movie called Justice League. And my husband gave me the history, and I'll do that in a minute. So don't think I've punked you, because I haven't. I am going to talk about that, but I do have a few things that I want to let you know up front. First of all, today is the day, if you have Disneyland tickets in California, you can go on and look to book a reservation to get back into Disneyland. Right now, it is exclusive to California, and I know many of you are really champing at the bit to do this, and of course you are. And I'm going to show you a photo here to make you feel a little bit better. Here I am in front of the closed park. I went to have a touch of Disney last Thursday, and here is a picture of me in front of the park. It is getting polished and ready to go. This is with my dear friend Lori, and we're just posing in front because we wanted to make sure you got some pictures of the park so that you could see. It is getting polished up and eager to see you come back. So there's Disneyland, eagerly waiting for you. Don't worry when you get tickets, but today is the day, if you had tickets before the pandemic, that you can schedule and get reservations to go to the park. Now, on Patreon today, that's, of course, my Terry's Tribe. If you want to join, please consider doing so. It's really fun. But it was shared with me today by one of our members, one of our tribe members, that she got tickets. And she got tickets for June. It looks like it is going up to the 1st of July as it stands now. She wanted to get July 17th, the birthday, of course, but she says they're not booking for that yet. But that's the information she gave us. She did wait for a bit. She had to do her due diligence. It starts at 8 o'clock. And for those of you that are like me, who are pass holders and didn't have tickets in California, we have to wait till Thursday in order to pull the trigger and possibly get Disney tickets. Understand, If California keeps being good and we can open up and keep sliding down the tiers, by June 15th, we're supposed to be completely open if we're all good little girls and boys. And if that happens, it means that Disneyland can have a larger capacity, which means more sales, which means there's a very good chance that they will sell tickets for the birthday. And I am hoping that by that time, they will have passes announced so we can get in and get our pass as well. And what does that pass mean? And what does that pass entitle us to? All right, the new annual passes. So that's the Disneyland news. And I know those of you who want to know about Marvel and DC, hold tight. There's a few things we got to make sure that everybody gets as far as the Disneyland stuff is. So I asked you to please send your stories in about dinosaurs. Many of you may or may not know that I played Baby Sinclair in that, not the mama. I was actually the arms of Baby. And here's Team Baby for the hit show Dinosaurs, just to jog your memory a little bit. If you're someone who's like, what is she talking about? I've done a lot of things: Ghostbusters, Men in Black, Dune, and a lovely little show called Dinosaurs. So this is Baby Sinclair, not the mama. And there's Earl and Baby right there in a promotional poster. This is the show I did for 4 years. I've done a lot of film and TV, a lot of voiceover stuff. And this show just dropped in the UK on Disney+. So, yippee. And I have a lot of cool things that are from the 90s when we did this, and I'm offering them to you. If you send me a story of what Dinosaurs means to you, or how are you feeling about it being back, or are you sharing it with your kids, or are you just so happy? What is your current situation? How are you feeling? Okay? All righty. So, Marvelites. Marvel versus DC. Okay? So, so the weekend, I did an appearance on Saturday, and I do have to say that when I got off, my very, very good friend in the UK, Damian Morley, had told me that his house had just burned down. And maybe some of you who know Damian read that post. And the best thing we can do is send him our good wishes. We love you, Damian. And he is a go-getter. He's a hit-the-ground-running kind of guy. But in this devastating fire, he lost his fur baby, Luna. And I think she had just turned a year old. I don't think she was much more than a year old. A little Maltese that his whole family, especially his youngest daughter, Annabelle, loved. We don't need to tell you that they loved this little dog and that they loved everything about their little fur baby, because those of you who have fur babies know what that's actually like. So it's been rough on him, and so many of you have reached out either to tell him your good wishes on his post, which he posted on Facebook, but also if you're someone who wants to know what you can do, hold tight. I am in conversation with him, and I'm just giving him some time to sort of process. Okay. But I told him I had his back, and then I could launch something if he needed some help. All he has to do is say the word, and we'll reach out and help him. Okay. So, but we got to tread lightly. It's very nice that you jump up and you do a GoFundMe for somebody, but sometimes they don't want that. And so for Damien, I'm not going to say he doesn't want it, but I want to wait and find out how can we really help him. And it may just be giving him our time so he can talk to us in some way. So thank you for all of you reaching out to my friend Damien and to your friend Damien. And I will keep my hand on the pulse of what's happening and keep you guys posted. Okay? All righty. So, yes. So as we work hard to continue to social distance, wear our masks, and be good, because we want Disneyland to open, and we want Disneyland to open in a big way, that's the excitement that we're having. So if you had tickets when the pandemic hit, you can make your reservations today and on Thursday. If you don't have tickets like moi, you can then go in and get your tickets and then get the reservations. Right now, what I do know, I think I mentioned on Friday, but if you've just started listening to me or you're listening to me on live, you can park hop, but park hop hours are regulated. So you can't just park hop at your leisure. Apparently, they're going to regulate that a bit. And of course, they are. If things stay the way they are, this is the way they will open on April 30th. But the good news is, as I said before, we are working very hard to go down the ladder and descend. And if we do it right and we're good, we can open June 15th, and that's going to be a whole different ball game, right? So stay tuned, be frosty. We're in the home stretch. Don't quit at mile 26 in your marathon when you only have 0.2 miles to go. So that's what I'm saying there. So Marvel versus DC. Why is it that Marvel can make marvelous pictures and DC has trouble with this? Throughout, my husband is telling me, and many people who love comic books, DC seems to do very well on TV, but when they go to the big screen, it's a mess. And you can tell that it's a mess because you see the fear when you watch some DC films. At least I do. Okay. Now, let me say that I'm not into Marvel and I'm not into DC. This is an area that eludes me a little bit, but my husband loves it. And because I love my husband, I want to be able to watch it. You know, he will be so nice. So for example, this weekend, I wanted to watch Godzilla versus King Kong, and he was like, really? And he was sweet enough to sit for 2 hours and let me watch this movie. And he felt it was just a waste of his time. But we had to sign up for HBO Plus. We did not go to the movie theater to see this. I'm still isolating because we've only had one dose each. So we're taking extra precautions. But we signed up for HBO Plus. HBO Plus is $14.99, I think, for a month. So we invested for a month so that we could. And so my husband began to search inside there. We have a month. So he wanted to see what else. And he came across this, how do you say it? This epic, because they're calling it a cut. But my husband says, no. It is not a cut. But it's a cut, but it's a film, and it's known as they call it the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. Forgive me, not my jam. Okay. It's 4 hours long, guys. You heard me right. 4 hours long. And what I should have called this title on my thumbnail that you read, telling you this was coming, is I should have written the Zack Snyder Justice League, everything possibly I could shoot, including the kitchen sink, is what that whole thing was about. It's so much stuff. My husband was like, really? And it's just unbelievable. So what my husband explained to me about this particular nut, if you will, is that Zack Snyder was directing this Justice League film when he had a devastating blow, and that was the loss of his daughter. He lost his daughter, and we know when you lose a child, whether you've actually experienced it or not, you know that this is something that parents, this should never happen to a parent. Parents envision their children burying them, not the other way around. And so I would imagine that Zack was very, very devastated, and he left the project. And it was probably a very good idea at the time because he was just devastated at the loss of his daughter. Enter a man that I have been told about named Joss. That's not Josh, which I was saying. I was saying Josh. My husband said, no, Joss, Joss. Whedon. He takes over. He makes his version of Justice League and it crashes and burns, according to my husband. Not a good film. Not a good film. So certain people who are into DC, maybe as much as Marvel, began to make it known from their voice they wanted to see the Zack Snyder cut. That's what they called it. Bring on the Zack Snyder cut. Bring on the Zack Snyder cut. Kind of that. Enough that Warner Brothers invested millions of dollars to create this movie. And we are talking millions. I thought maybe it might be billions with a B, but my husband said, not quite, but you're close. A lot of money was spent to make this film, and the film is 4 hours long. And honestly, from me looking in, it's a bit exhausting. They seem to just... Okay. I think DC and Warner Brothers needs to sit back and take a breath, okay? Because the first thing I observed with DC and Marvel was that DC's opening seems to be a watered down version of Marvel's opening. Marvel's opening, where all of the characters fly up in their different colors and it's very impactful, very dynamic. Then you see DC do the same thing, but not so well. Okay? So I'm going to digress just a little bit here. But when Jim Henson announced the Muppets were no longer going to shoot, this was in the day when I was just rising as a puppeteer. Everybody grabbed on trying to recreate the Muppets in their own way. And I was on a show that did that from Hanna-Barbera called BB Beagle. In BB Beagle, they did as much as to overlay their lyrics over a song that was just the same kind. It wasn't the same rhythm, but it was similar words. So like maybe put on the grease paint and light the lights. They would say, put on your makeup and hit the heights, or you know what I'm saying? And it just was a watered down version of the original show, Muppets. It just didn't work because instead of being creative, they were copying, kind of like Disney copying themselves with live action. You follow? So that was the first thing I noticed right out of the gate. Now, why did I sit for 4 hours with my husband on Family Day and watch this? Because he doesn't have time other than Family Day to sit for 4 hours and watch a film. And he wasn't sure he wanted to, but he was very curious. We had paid the money for HBO Plus. And so he really made the decision that, you know, he'll sit it through. And I felt like this. I had made a fabulous brunch. We opened some champagne and orange juice, and I had my mimosas. And I figured, if anything, if it gets too tiresome, I'll do what I usually do, which is have one heck of a nap, a good nap. Okay. But I became intrigued because I think DC has got to stop being afraid. Okay. They have really good characters, don't they? I mean, they have Batman, they have Joker, they have Wonder Woman. This is what I was learning while watching The League. And I mean, I knew it. They have The Flash, which I loved on the CW for a while, but now it's getting a little syrupy for me. But the point is, they had these characters. Superman. Oh, sorry, Superman. Should never forget Superman. And so you've got the strong characters, but you're trying too hard to find the feelings that Marvel already has, okay? And they had this villain in this 4-hour film. And I'm not going to do any spoilers because I can't even name the villain. But you felt, I'm so sorry, you felt nothing for 4 hours. Can you imagine watching a film for 4 hours and not caring about Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman or her family, and the villain is just uninteresting, and you're like, there's lots of CG, which my husband says, Lindsay, my husband says, the CG is what gets me. He's right. And I'm not talking from my point of view right now. I had my husband right next to me, And I said to me, is it me or do you feel anything for any character? You want to be vested. So let's go back to Endgame, which was not my cup of tea either, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. If you have been on this channel before, you know that Endgame was rough for me as well. Thank goodness Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy was in there, gave me something to latch onto. But the point is, Thanos was scary. Thanos was evil, and I felt, regardless of whether I was vested or not, I worried about the characters. I felt pain when characters disappeared, and I know you did too. But in this Justice League thing, nah, you don't feel it. There's only one incident. There's only two characters that really made me feel it all, and that was Lois Lane, played by Amy Adams, and of course, Clark's mother. Okay? And those two actresses made me feel something. And they were not in it for the full 4 hours. So this little made me feel something in a 4-hour film. Otherwise, it was a lot of colored lights. It was a lot of fire. It was a lot of bolts. It was a lot of anger. It was a lot of, we're destroying this, we're blowing that up, blah, 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 blah. And I really felt like DC was grasping to try and catch some of the lightning in the bottle that Marvel has. So here's my advice to DC. Stop it. Okay? Please stop it. I say the same thing about Disney when they are taking their animated films and making live action that are absolutely, in many cases, borderline ridiculous, okay? Just take a minute. Remember yourselves back in the days, DC, of the comic book. Go back. What was it that made people love your characters? What was special about Superman? What was special about Wonder Woman, Spider-Man? No, The Flash. Sorry, Spider-Man's on the other side or somewhere in the middle. And Batman and just and then they have this new character in there called Cyber something. And Now, apparently, when Joss took over, he got rid of this Cyber character. And now he's back in the Zack version, in the Zack Snyder version. And I really was left again kind of meh. And what, but I don't really count because most of this stuff leaves me meh. So I don't really count. But my husband, it left my husband meh. After 4 hours, my husband was like, meh. Now I can talk about it, but it's really meh, And he really didn't seem to care whether or not it was better than the Josh Whedon version. He didn't care about that. He saw that one and thought that one was lame. And he saw this one and thought this one was meh. So I guess this one's a little bit better in his eyes, okay? But but I kept wondering why DC is misses so much. And I think it has to do with copying someone. Copying just doesn't work. You're a watered down version of the others when you're copying, So when you're recreating something, your own characters, I think you should sit back and get your writers together and create instead of duplicate. Do your own opening. Come up with something cool for DC's opening. Not a watered down version of the Marvel opening. You guys deserve your own opening, right? You guys have got some good, solid characters. You have some good stuff. So don't sell yourself short by getting so nervous that Marvel keeps hit, and you keep fail. I think the chief fail is that you're copying, that you're scared, that you're acting through fear. Let's get that fear out of there. Let's go back to the strength that you have in these characters and think about how you can present them in the DC way. Get together and get inspired and get excited and do something new and fabulous. You guys have got it in you, okay? You really do. And if you don't, look around and find some fans who are really vested in DC and bring them in, Disney did it with Favreau. Okay, I know you guys love Favreau for The Mandalorian and think of all some of the brilliant stuff it is, but the guy's a fan. The guy's a Star Wars fan. He's vested in the genre. He loves Star Wars. This is personal to him and his team. This is not just a job. This is his family. I can feel it in The Mandalorian, and I'm sure you do too, DC. So pull in some people where this is their family and they don't like what you're doing with it. And you'll be a phoenix rising from the ashes. You can do this. Okay? You can do this. And then you're going to surprise yourself and you're going to be able to do it. Instead of asking yourself, ask yourself, what can we do to be our own nut? Okay? Because Marvel has got it. They're but you don't want to keep spending money having these sort of people coming out of the theater going, meh, you know. You don't want that. You want people to feel, as I did with my Star Wars genre, because that's what I feel about it. So anyway, let's jump over and see what you have to say. Was there anything else I wanted to say? I think that was mainly what I wanted to talk about today. And I know it was kind of, for those of you who love Disneyland, I know it was kind of maybe you thought it was a bit cheesy, but Marvel is now Disneyland, and it really is powerful. Because if I look at Endgame, which is 3 hours plus long, and Justice League, which is 4 hours and change, in Endgame, I will say there were areas they could have cut out and made the movie shorter, in my opinion. Okay, I really do say that. But I cared about the people involved. Okay, they made me care about characters that I'm not that vested in, if that makes sense. Okay. So, I think that's because they really dug deep. They dig deep, and they created their own thing. I've always loved the opening title sequences that they do. I actually prefer the flip book of the comics more than I do the dun 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 color stuff. But the color stuff is still good. But then when you watch the DC right after, it's the same. Same thing. And people are already left with kind of a flat feeling about the film before it even starts, because even if they don't realize it's a copy, it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. That's what I wanted to just kind of open with today. And now I'm going to go over and hear what you guys want to say, and we'll do it. I will have to end a little early today because yay for me. Don't you just love it when someone says yay for me? Yay for me. Sounds a little narcissistic, I'm saying. But I do have to applaud a little bit because my hitchhiking ghosts are getting delivered to people today. I'm actually having a couple people come and pick up their kids. So they're adoptive parents of these ghosts, and they're coming to pick them up. And then this is also the month of April. Whoop, 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 whoop. You knew that, right? Is also when my blacklight ghosts are going to be delivered. So I have sets of the beautiful blacklight ghosts, and they're going to be delivered as well. And here they are. Both are still available for sale. I know you're out there saying, oh my goodness, hint, hint. Well, yeah, hint, hint, because they are. And you're going to be angry at me if I don't keep telling you that they're available. So you just go over to my website, terryharden.com, and click on online store, and you can experience, you can look through the store, and I have a glowing hitchhiking ghost pin for $20, and I have these sets, but they will be distributed today. Okay. I found out I have 11 sets of the illuminating ghosts left before all 50 are sold out. And the hitchhiking ghosts, I have quite a few of the blacklight ghosts because I haven't been really telling you guys about them or showing them off much. So I'll do that after these illuminated ones get to their adoptive parents. I want to make sure that I have a flow doing that. So yay for me, that's happening today. And that means that a total of 15 sets have gone out, and I have The rest, there's only 5 sets a month that happen. If you ordered some ghosts and you're watching today, don't panic. I'm going to be emailing you directly and letting you know what month many of you said you could wait. So I assigned you a month, but a couple of you reached out to me and wanted them for a particular reason. So I shuffled around a little bit and tried to get yours when you said you needed it. So if you have an occasion that you're waiting for, reach out to me and I will do my best to see if you can get on the delivery. The next set ships out this month. For this month, the April set, then there's the May set, the June set, the July set, the August, September, and October set. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Okay. So that's the way it works. And so I'm very happy because it feels like there's a little bit of rhythm, but I got a lot of work because of the pandemic. I have to do the stuffing or the lining in the beautiful boxes that I've created so that your ghosts are protected, but I got to do it all by myself. So that's going to be kind of what's happening to me later in the afternoon after I deliver the ghosts to everybody. So there you go. Yeah. Whoa. Wow. All right. So I know I'm silly. I can't stop. Okay. Let's say hi to all of you. Good morning. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Adam. Nice to have you on today. Janice, good morning. I see your name. Your name is perfect. I don't know why it doesn't let you be that in the Terry's tribe. Janice is one of the people that is going to Disneyland in June. So she got her tickets today. And I told her I'm going to have to live vicariously through her. I'm so excited. And if she cries, to not worry about it, many do. Hello, Angie. You love my hair today. Yes, it's all down. I didn't tie it back today. I just decided to let it. But if I leave it like this, I'm constantly doing this, playing with it. So sometimes that gets a bit annoying on camera. So I gotta watch myself. Michael Joseph, woo! Not anxious to go back to Disneyland until I'm good and ready. Yes, I know. And the passes, I think I mentioned this before, right? That I want to have the passes so that I don't have to worry about parking. Parking makes me nuts. I really, it's the one thing that I really don't want to worry about when I go to Disneyland. So like Michael, I'm patient. I'm going to live through you guys, but I'll bring as much information as I can to you when I go live, just in case you haven't heard it from the news. Or again, I want to give a shout out to micechat.com and Dusty and his team, because they really have their hands. And when that first day opens, you can bet dollars to donuts that he will be there. Dusty will be there reporting. So go over there and follow that group, and then you'll get to live vicariously through him, and you might even still cry. So other dates were open, but since I had an unused park hopper, more dates were available to me. Exactly. And listen to what Janice is saying here, okay, guys? Let us, Janice and I, be as crystal as we can for you, okay? The 9th, okay, Friday, you could go in and look at what dates were available and learn about capacity and some of the measures you were going to have to do, okay? Plan on the weekend with your families what day might be good for you. And then today at 8 o'clock, 8:01, be like Janice, pull the trigger on this thing and get your tickets. Okay. So those dates, maybe they're all sold out. We'll learn later today, because if they sell out, the news is going to be like, sold out already. And it's not even the 15th. You know how they are. They're that way with the news isn't that way. But our Disney races, when we were doing the races at Disneyland, the 10K always sold out first. Years back, it used to be the 3 medal. So if you did the challenges, they sold out pretty fast too. But then they started to really get expensive. So for example, the Dopey Challenge, which I did twice, which is running a 5, a 10, a half, and a full back to back, was close to $700 when I looked at it. And that's an investment. Yes, you get 6 medals, but hey, that's a lot of lettuce. So sometimes would sell out a lot, sometimes it wouldn't. And the one that was always open for the longest time was the half marathon if there was a challenge involved, because people were going for the challenges first and then coming back and doing the unequal things. But the 10K was like porridge in the Three Bears. It was just right. The price was maybe a little stretch for you. The medal was always cool, always different. And it was great. But you had to have your hand on the trigger, didn't you, Janice? You had to be fast. Oh my Lord, did you have to be fast? So you found out when it was going to open and bam, you were right there waiting. So this is what I said to everybody on Friday. No harm, no foul if they lasted a little longer than expected, but you gotta expect the worst and hope for the best, right? So thank you, Janice, and congratulations. Good morning, Chuck. Oh, I had my paperwork out here and I took it back in. Chuck, I'm going to be reaching out to you later and telling you when your ghosts are coming. I think, I'm not going to say, but I think it's May or June. I will say that. It's one of those months that they're coming, but I will let you know right specific when you're set, when your kids are coming. Okay. Bob says you really should join us. It's so much fun and interesting. Terry's Tribe is so nice. My wife and I enjoy it. Yeah, we'd love to hear your voice on Terry's Tribe, guys. Seriously. Coming to it's on the Patreon page. $5 a month gets you the live broadcast that I do every Monday and Friday before I come here, and also we have a Zoom call every Wednesday that we do at 11 Pacific time, and it's lovely. It's really, really lovely. We kind of talk up to the minute stuff on Disney, but we talk about all kinds of stuff. We segue into, we talk about all kinds of stuff. We talk about coffee versus tea. Why did we do things like that? Because my husband's very much into coffee and he's got a new hobby, and I'm loving it. I'm a tea drinker, but I love his coffee. And so we talk about all kinds of cool stuff. And I hope you will consider joining us. I will jump over to where you can go again. Here is the information. I know it's here. I just got to find it. Gotta find it. Gotta find it. Gotta find it. So you guys get to hear me sort of saying while we're at it. There it is. So if you go here, check it out. It looks good to you. You can, of course, join higher levels if you want. But right now, that's a real good economical level to see if you like it. And join us. We'd love to hear your voice. Yeah. You can tell us about you, too, which we always love to hear. Okay. That's the deal there. All right. That is the situation. All right. Good morning, Jessica. Frank is in the house. I highly recommend the criticism and comparison of the edits at youtube.com watch TV. And I would imagine that is the comparative for Marvel versus DC. And it looks like maybe edit for edit. And so I will mention that, Frank, to my husband. No offense, everybody, but I really don't want to see anymore. I really don't. I loved hearing what he had to say and him telling me about it, but I'm really done. More Star Wars, please. But thank you, Frank. I will let my husband know. Oh, man, says Supersonic. Great to have you. Hi. Oh, my gosh. How are you, sweetie? I didn't expect you to be here, Damien. How lovely to see you. So many are asking how they can help and support you. I told them if you want us to start some sort of financial campaign to help you out, you'd let me know. And don't tell me here. This is public. Let's not have it for everyone to read. Okay. You can talk to me privately and we'll see if we can do what can we do as people who love you and your family, rise above this crisis. Okay. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you. And I will make you, I had an idea the other day. I don't know if you're into it, but we can talk about it. Okay. Just love you. 9 months. That's what I thought. She was, and she is a little love, but you were right when you talked to me yesterday, I think it was, you talked to me and you told me she's going to make a wonderful little angel. And as you saw when I spoke, I didn't specifically talk about your situation because specifics are your business. And that's the thing that I'm going to do. I want you all to know that when it's a story that has involved you, I'm going to give you the particulars. And I really, honestly, Damien, would not have said anything. But since you posted it publicly on Facebook, I said, okay, that kind of gives us permission to kind of talk to others about, and everyone really wants to reach out and help you. As you saw, Bella and her mom and her grandma just were, that you're their brother now. They love you, and they just would not take no for an answer. And I finally sent you that information because they wanted you to know that they're so sorry. And words, just as you know, and everyone knows, when you suffer a loss of any kind, words just really fall short, don't they? But that, as human beings, is what we have to start with. And we will encourage you and tell you we have your back and that we love you. And we hope that helps in some way your healing process, because we really feel for you. It's a terrible thing that happened. But you are a go-getter. You and your entire family, Annabelle, and your lovely, your family, they do not stay down. You step up and dust yourself off. You have had several situations where you've been tested, and you always come out swinging, and you always come out on top. So you guys will do the same here. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. That is so generous of you at a time when I would have understood if you didn't. So thank you so much. Yeah, Adam, so maybe words do kind of work, Damien. That sucks is pretty clear. Yeah. And all of us who have little animals that we love know, and little family members fur family members that we love. It's not, we don't have to be told how painful that is. We know. Michael writes, patience is a virtue, which I have. I am not anxious to go back to Disneyland. I will wait until they have a new annual pass plans in place and things get back to whatever normal that might be. And that could be June. Could be, if we're good. But here's the thing. The other states have to be good too. Otherwise, they cross the border and thanks for playing. So California can't just, strut their stuff and say they're all better, because then, you see, we all have to work together to make sure the United States and the rest of the world is safe too. And that's just the facts, Jack. Okay. I'm with Michael in that I want an annual pass, because parking is something that just, it's so funny that parking is the thing, getting in and out of the park, but the parking is important. I love going in and out of the park. Don't get me wrong. And the annual pass makes it so lovely and convenient. I'm so in, as Michael says, but the parking's got to be attached. That is the main reason I bought the level that I do, is because all I do is hand them my little card and off we go. So I feel, and it's a funny little prediction from me, but I think May you're going to hear about the passes. Okay, you're going to hear about what they've decided to do for annual passes. So stay tuned, keep your ear to the grindstone, and I'll bring you as much as I can here. Okay, or at least tell you where you can go, Mice Chat, to find out more. Okay, because that is very, very, very important. Yeah, I love you too, sweetheart. I miss you. I want to come see you. I want you to come see me. If they were allowing you to get out of the UK, and I would say just bring your family over here and stay with us for a while, because we could set something up that up for you, and it would be great to see you, and I think it would do your girls good. So that's what I wish could happen, is you just get on a plane and come and see us. We've talked about this before, Damien. We miss each other so much that we would really like to be able to do that. Yeah. Yeah. So hang in there, my friend. This is, as you know, I don't need to tell you, this is not easy, but we're here. And if you need to talk to me, just reach out. You know, what were the odds that I was going to be up when you wrote to me right after, soon after it happened, or you had gotten, I guess your family had been through kind of a rough time and you were just waking up and you decided to reach out to me. And I responded. We had a little bit of a chat. If you need that, I'm here. Okay. All right. Yeah, Bob Burdine. See, this group, Damien, I'll tell you, my tribe guys are great. The people that are here are great. But yeah, and if they're in the tribe, which I hope you can join us once you're settled again. You can come and join us on the tribe because I think you are going to just love them. But they all give you. Take care. Love you. Be good. And we wish you all the best. We really do. Adam, and what you just described in regards to the inception of this version of Justice League is just touching the surface. You may as well write an entire conspiracy novel on what happened in the entire fiasco. Yeah, it's so funny. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way. I mean funny, odd, strange, that the backstory of directors and everything, of actors, of, is important to some people. I love the work that they do, but I'm not really interested in their lives, who they marry, how many kids they have, all that kind of stuff that a lot of people like to read, like People magazine stuff. Me, no, not interested. Just not. I'm just not. And so people are telling me this stuff, and I'm like, wow, I had no idea that Zack had lost a little daughter, and I felt for him. That really, oh man, no wonder he left, And then apparently Josh is kind of a bully. My husband was telling me, he didn't use the word bully, but that's what it sounded like to me from some of the descriptions. And that made me sad. There's no reason to bully people and make a set a bad place to work on stage. Just ask the actors, performers, gaffers, grips, et cetera, that work for Clint Eastwood. And by the way, did I mention I want to meet him? So if you have ties, please help that out. I won't take much of his time, just a quick 15, 20 minutes and I'll be good. But anyway, Clint Eastwood has been revered as having one of the most comfortable, wonderful sets to work on, where you can spread your wings and just do your craft without getting screamed at, yelled at, abused in any way. Not his style. And people have worked with him for years, as they have with Martin Scorsese. Many directors have a team that they take care of so that their films don't take extra work. The team comes together much like puppeteers, and bam, the history is so tight, they just fall into place like a good set of chariot horses, and off you go. So it's a shame when somebody feels they have to yell and scream and make somebody feel uncomfortable or stuff like that in order to get the actor to get the performance out. You got to trust the actor, and maybe you're going to use some methods to get the actor there if they're not there, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt that they know their craft first. And if they are a beginner, you bring in coaches and stuff, and then they other actors help other actors. It's always better to be in a nurturing environment. Yourself, if the environment you're working in, no matter what you do, is poison, it's very hard to create anything in any kind of an environment like that. So I'm with you with this, Adam. And this whole story that my husband said has been going on and on and on and on, as far as Justice League is concerned, is very sad. I will say one thing for DC, at least they're still telling stories about Wonder Woman, even though my husband really didn't like WW84, about, I can't think of it, but you guys would know, that they're trying to do little nuts of each character if they can't do them about all of them. And then there was one young lady on there that they were talking about that they probably won't use her because she opened her mouth and she said some mean things, and now they're, and apparently she's kind of a mean person, My husband said, and you as a fan, if you find out the person is truly mean and nasty, it's hard to follow them. So I could understand that the brand is now saying, do we, she's hard for us to work with, but now she's also being mean to the people that loved how she portrayed the character. So why are we keeping her exactly? Why? If you have a more comfortable set, a more fun set to work on, the better it is. So I have a dear friend who worked on a movie called Tremors. You remember that Kevin Bacon movie about the monsters under the ground? What a great little B movie that came out of nowhere, in my opinion, and I absolutely love it. But they all talked about how much fun it was to work on that set, that was just a blast. It was like being in the middle of a 1950s horror movie, which they all loved and recreated it, and it was a ton of fun. And it looked fun. If you haven't seen it, or you haven't seen it in a while, they all talk about that it was a fun set to be on, and you can tell they're all really having a good time in the movie, and the movie's fun, and they said it was fun. So I think, nowadays when people are casting, they're actually looking to cast a good environment because they know that the budget has a chance of staying on point. Less infighting, less anger, less irritation, because everybody is working to make, they're on the ship and they all want it to sail in the same direction and not cause trouble. So you may be a very wonderful actor, but if you're a pain, they may just turn around and say, no, thank you. So just so you know. Michael says, sorry for the horrible event this weekend. We are thinking good thoughts for you. Let the tribe know if we can help in any way. And I know he read that, Michael. So there you go. Isn't that nice of him to join us? See, this is the way Damien is. He's that kind of a guy. Seriously. Deanna, I couldn't watch it. Yeah. Are you saying you couldn't watch Justice League at all? Why am I not surprised? I mean, be honest, Deanna, you could watch your cats for hours, but this just wasn't cutting it for you. Shelby says, this is why I prefer the DC animated universe, like the Batman animated series from the 90s or the Justice League cartoon from the 2000s. Shelby makes a really good point here, guys. Let's think about this a minute. Who does those animated ones? And do you have certain writers attached that you like that does this? Maybe if DC wanted to, they should talk to these folks and pull them into live action. If you were going to say, hey, animated Batman people and cartoon Justice League people, if you were going to do a live action film based on these characters, what would it look like? See, this is what I'm talking about. I went in the same kind of, I don't think it was a rant, but maybe it was, about Star Wars, because in between episodes 4, 5, and 6, Empire Strikes Back being episode 5, and we got those 3 that I don't like to talk about involving the Phantom Menace. Blech. Between those, there were people who wrote amazing books. We know that there was animated series that were brilliant. So that's why I kept saying, reach out to those people. And indeed, this is what's happened on Mandalorian, right? That now you've got something that is really strong, powerful, and the fans love, And it seems kind of simple, but that's what I think. I think people should listen to Shelby and do just that. I think that's this is why, Shelby is saying what she prefers. Now you listen to her and you go talk to these people, and maybe you can fix DC, but do it in a creative way, not in a copying way. The character is just called Cyborg. Yeah, no. Sorry, Adam. No. My husband said the backstory on this character is that Joss eliminated that character from his version of the Justice League because he well, for whatever reason, I don't think my husband said there was any real insight into why he got rid of him. But when Zack put him back in, I really thought it was gilding a lily. He didn't really add much to it. He really didn't. And it's not his fault. It's none of the actor's fault, guys. The script is just not there. The emotion is not there. The feelings that they go through, you don't feel. And that's what's missing. So, and it's because it feels so pale and watered down. It just, I can't speak for the Marvel/DC people, but maybe you can speak for yourselves. If you could watch a DC movie or you could watch a Marvel movie, which one would you watch? And you don't need to tell me because I know the answer. So if that's the case, DC, in order to compete or in order to at least get up to a similar level so people are equally excited to watch your films as much as the Marvel films, is you got to create your own vision. And my husband hates the word vision, by the way. But get with some of these animated people like Shelby is talking about, and maybe you have an easy road to recreating something that would be viable. And you get one powerful one, like your Wonder Woman, your first Wonder Woman, the one where you introduced the new Wonder Woman. Everybody was telling me it was great. Was it sensational? No, but it was a lot better than your other stuff. So you were there. You've got it in you. You just need to do more of the creative part, less of the copying stuff. But thank you, Adam. Cindy says, agreed about the Disney live action. Don't like most of them. Yeah, Cinderella is about the best one. And that's probably because of Kenneth Branagh. I've said that before, too. Kenneth Branagh is one of these directors that just really gets the genres he opted to do. Even Frankenstein, which I thought was a little weak, was probably one of his weak ones that he did. There was still things you could get into. Maybe not the whole thing, but Kenneth is a really good director, and I actually am missing his work. There are some directors that I haven't seen in a while that I'm really missing their work, and I jump on it every time I hear they're directing or they're performing, because they just are so good. It's really great. Joseph's in the house. Good morning. I think Marvel, too, does a much better job than DC. This is across the board, Joseph. But DC has it in them to do it, wouldn't you say? Because DC is, it's not like Marvel, DC, and blah, and blah, and blah, and blah, and blah, and blah. And you got this stack, right, of people who are doing great work in the movie comic book thing. It's like DC's huge and Marvel is huge. So DC is huge. They've got it in them. They can do this. And you will all be happy when they do. Okay. So what was it? Well, we were just watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which, is a challenge for me, so to speak. But one of the things that I love about the characters in Marvel is I'm not going to do a spoiler for you, but there's a section where the Wakandans pop up. And I don't care if they popped up in a Fruit Loop commercial, you would go, whoa, they command real presence. And they don't even open their mouths. When a Wakanda gets on the camera, you go, oh, there's that power. And as a filmmaker, no matter who you are, how are they doing that? And the characters are saying nothing. Really analyze if you're going to make it. DC, this is a great thing to see. Watch Falcon and Winter Soldier and see how some of these characters appear, and the aura that there's created in a film is, they don't say anything, but the way it's, I don't know, is it the way it's shot? Is it the quiet music behind? You can do this too, because your characters, we're not feeling it. I mean, we love Wonder Woman, but we weren't feeling her in this movie. So, women are shooting, the Amazons are shooting arrows and they're getting hit, and we're like, should we get popcorn? Maybe a coffee while we're watching it? And you don't want that. You don't want that. And you don't have to do that. So the time for being lazy and copying is over at millions of dollars, guys. That hurts. When fans are like, meh, you don't want fans to go, meh. You want fans to be vested. You want fans to pay for the movie before you even drop it. And that is Marvel, isn't it? So don't be jealous of the big fish in the pond. Learn from the big fish in the pond. Okay? That's a good thing to do, is learn from the big fish. What is that big fish doing to be a big fish? And don't copy them. Take into consideration, analyze what they're doing, and then do a version of for yourself. Because you can get in there. You can get in there. Absolutely. Grinning Tasty, seeing the DCA rides testing online yesterday brought tears. Guys, Tracy, you are so cute. I am so happy to hear that got you emotional. I was walking there and they were driving and moving them around, and it just felt like the zombie apocalypse to me. It felt very weird. Okay. Are you taunting me? Are you teasing me as the Ferris wheel goes around? Are you teasing me that the little Wildcat roller coaster is moving or things are going up and down? Yes, I had a totally different feeling when I was at Touch of Disney with rides moving. I was kind of like, okay, why is this happening? The cars in Cars Land were zipping around with nobody inside. Yeah, a little zombie apocalypse for me, actually. So, but I'm glad that you saw it in a different way, and that's the beauty of people and your nice positive attitude, Tracy. Oops, forgive me, my thing is getting crazy because I just put my elbow on it. That's not cool. Oh, that's fun, but that's not. Come on now, calm yourself down over there. Yeah, I think that's adorable. And I tell you, people walk in and they pass through the checkpoint where they check for your fever and everything, and they step on the bricks that y'all have. Deanna was telling me she has one, and you look over at the Disneyland and just seeing it. And I guess the day before, Keith said the trains were running. You want to talk about a tearful moment? That would do it to you, don't you think? Genesis looks like there's still availability for May and June. I just checked the website again. See, this is what you guys can do. And the reason that you can do this now, Janice is saying that, but you cannot buy tickets until Thursday. But you can use Tuesday, you can use today, tomorrow, and the next day to study, just like Janice was saying. She pulled it up, she looked at what was available. She kind of had a game plan. Here's maybe my option 1. Here's my option 2. Here's my option 3. You got your whole pod ready to say yes. You know, if we can't get this day, we want to go to this day. If we can't get this day, we want to go to that day. That's all the game plans you guys can do. So when you're in there pulling the trigger fast, and they go, you still have option 3 available. So the way it was with Rise of Resistance, when I went in to do Rise of the Resistance, I asked everybody, how do I get in and get a place where I can see this attraction? Okay. And they said, you got to be inside the park doors as soon as they, be there before they open. Come in through the gate at 9:00. They usually opened the gate back then at 8:30. You went through the gate, and then they said, find a spot. Do not go down Main Street and get close to where the rope is dropped. Too many people there, too many challenges with getting on the Wi-Fi. But if you get up a little higher, or you get over into an area where you're more alone, you're going to get a position. And by golly, I did. And don't give up. Yeah. So I got one. But I asked a lot of people. So that's why I'm saying, if you're planning on getting tickets on the 15th, do some homework so that you're ready to go. Because Janice is giving you some good info here. Have a good week, Deanna. Great to see you. Thank you for coming. And Adam says later. Good morning, Ava. Tremors, yes, it was Richard Barnes. It was a great movie, and they had fun doing it. Okay? There are movies where they didn't have fun doing it, but the actors were talented enough that they channeled that. So Officer and the Gentleman, Richard Gere, and you can tell, I'll remember her in a minute, but they did not get along. They didn't like each other, and they had to act like they were in love. So what they did is they processed that in such a way and used it to get that passion rolling for them to do what they had to do to make that movie. And that movie's loved by so many people, but they were not friends by any means. No. So again, the actors will bring it whenever they can, right? The same with American Gangster. Denzel Washington was not a fan of Russell Crowe, but they used that to make the movie, and that kind of sparks makes sometimes really works in a film. So the actors will work with the material. You know, they'll really choose if the material's there and a director is nurturing it. It can really work, you know. But if it can work also if they're a bit of a bully. But the actor goes in saying, I know he's a bully. I'm just going to do my work. You know, I'm going to do my work and I'm going to get that, you know, happening. So, you know, but it's much better to have a nice set where it's fun. Ghostbusters was a blast. In fact, we were just crazy on Ghostbusters, and it was just tons of fun to do. Really fun movie. Really fun movie to do. And I enjoyed every minute of it. So it's always nice to have that. So thank you, Richard. You're right. Yeah, it's a real shame since Joss Whedon was the director of the original Avengers and its first sequel. With all the triggering allegations that I'd rather not bring up in relation to him, this just adds more fuel to his deteriorating career, and it's a shame. You know, we saw a series that he's doing on HBO Plus that apparently he was removed from. So I don't know the backstory of it. I can't even remember the series. My husband would be able to, but the series is really interesting. I don't know if I'll stay with it, but I know my husband will, and it's very interesting. It's got some interesting stuff happening. It's, you know, superhero-y, powers-y. They all seem to sit on that foundation, but my husband likes it. So, hey, Mikey. Incidentally, I would love to meet Clint Eastwood, though I worry if I have a conversation, after a minute, he'll just tell me to leave. I don't think so. If you are in the bathroom, yeah. But honestly, I've heard he's very gracious. When he was the mayor of Carmel, which is something I should have really jumped on that, because when he was the mayor, you could go and speak to him pretty often. He was in his city. And you could just go up there and say hi and shake his hand and say hello. I stay positive, though. I really believe that we will connect, and I will have my opportunity to chat with him. And I'm not going to make it all up. You know, I will. He has charities he loves. I'm more than happy to donate to one of them if he'll give me, 15, 20 minutes of his time, because I want to talk to him about Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Now, it may be boring for him because he was a kid and he's done so much other work. And I love all his other work. And there's a couple in there I want to talk about as well. But Good, the Bad, the Ugly is a movie that just had impact to me. So I want to talk about that. So, yeah, I don't think he would. Adam. Tremors is one of Rose's favorites. I don't know if it's because of Bacon or like the story. I say both. Bob. I'm going to speak for Rose in this. Both. And the reason is because Kevin, although attractive, he's a cutie. But what's really cool about Kevin Bacon in this movie is the tete-a-tete that he has with Fred Ward. Ward, right? That guy's hilarious. They're hilarious together. They're like a couple of brothers. And I love that banter. I think that's super, super special. My friend played one of the construction guys that, as they're leaving town with the truck, they're going to go out of town with the truck, and one of the construction guys talks to him. My friend is one of those guys, and the monster bites the tire, or the axle or something. Anyway, it's that scene, and they're doing the. He's those guys. He's that group right there, and they said they had great fun. They had a lot of fun. So And the banter between these two fellas is great. And the idea that the girl who's the researcher is very, very average. You believe her as being a researcher. She doesn't look like a model. She looks like a human, real person, like someone you'd meet on the street. It's not that you wouldn't meet a model on the street in Hollywood. We run into them every day, but you know what I mean. It wasn't played. It wasn't played by a Kardashian. Okay. No, that's not ever going to happen. No. It was played by a girl who just fit the researcher. I thought she did a great job. I really believed who she was, and her character was valid, and it just made the movie all that more wonderfully encompassed and hypnotic. So I think story and everything worked in that movie. I want to see the extended Justice League, but we'll wait for the DVD Blu-ray since I don't have HBO Max. Joseph, I'll tell you, my husband jumped on the HBO Max train because his wife yesterday wanted to watch Godzilla versus King Kong. And so he paid $15. You can pay for the month, and then you can stop after a month. Okay. So they don't mind that you do a little hokey pokey action, right foot in, right foot out, right foot in, right foot out. They're hoping that they can keep you from after a month stepping out. So for example, they make sure now that we're in, because we're going to pay for a month and then we're going to leave. And one of the movies that I think borderlines on cheesy that I absolutely love is Mortal Kombat. Which my husband says that music is gone, and he's right, it's gone. I love that music, and I love that. I love that. It's like me and my Ghost Rider. I love the Ghost Rider. But anyway, and Nicolas Cage as the Ghost Rider is a lot of fun. But I digress. I have to tell you, I'm excited about seeing Mortal Kombat, and it comes out on HBO Plus on the 23rd of April, and our month is still good. Our month is still intact. So we're going to watch it. That's why, you see, that's the nice thing. If you invest your $15, so let me tell you something here, Joseph. If you buy that 4-hour of a movie on a Blu-ray or a DVD and you don't like it, you see what I mean? What if you invest that money, which is going to probably be around $15, and you don't like it, all right? But let's say you take that same $15 right now and you buy a month of HBO Plus. Now you've got that movie, you've got Godzilla versus King Kong, you've got Mortal Kombat coming up, and a plethora of series that my husband says are very interesting that he read about, but wasn't going to bother because he wasn't going to invest. But now for his wife, since he spent that $15, you get that all for that month. Now, the thing that they try to do, as I started to say, is they try to hook you. You ever see I Walked with a Zombie, 1950s? Oh gosh, it's a really fun movie. It's called I Walked with a Zombie. It's really cool. If you haven't seen it, you could probably see it on Criterion might have it. And if they don't have it, Prime might have it. If Prime doesn't have it, Turner Classic Movies might have it. But anyway, it's a very interesting movie. And this is, well, they try to pull you in by taunting you with other things they're going to be doing, like Dune. Okay, now Dune is a little bit too far out. They're remaking Dune. It looks very interesting. I don't know if it's going to be a limited series or a movie. My husband would know that, but I did the original Dune, which is kind of strange and weird, and in many cases not that good, but people still like it. And I'm fascinated by it because I built the still suits for the original David Lynch version. I'd like to see what they did with this and the sandworms and everything. All of it looks cool, but it's not till October. So I won't be hanging on to HBO Plus all the way through October just to see Dune. I will just kick it into gear in October so I can watch Dune, you see? But there is a movie with Michelle Pfeiffer, and I love Michelle Pfeiffer, and she has got a movie coming up like beginning of May, So that's what I'm talking about, that they're kind of, sure you don't want to stay one more month? We got these two things you might like. And my husband says I can binge watch all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. But when I was doing pumpkin sculpting, I was teaching pumpkin sculpting for HBO. They gave me the entire set, except for season 8, which I had to buy. But they gave me the set on DVD, so I'm set. I'm set with the set. So I don't need to really watch the entire thing on HBO Plus. I have it. Now, if you're someone, Joseph, who thinks you're going to want to keep it regardless if you like it, because it is kind of a milestone here for people who are DC and Marvel lovers, that might be something you want to hang on to, very much like Blade Runner seems to be with a lot of sci-fi people, then invest in it and you're on your way. But consider a month of HBO Plus as opposed to buying the DVD, because then you could watch it. And if you really like it, then maybe you could invest in the DVD. But I know my husband won't be investing in the DVD. He felt it was meh. So that might help you. Okay. Just a different way of thinking, my friend, from yours truly. Yes, a focus group consisting of true fans of DC. Seriously, Bob, I'm not kidding. Find someone who's passionate about it. That's how Mandalorian, those people who are working on Mandalorian now are all passionate about it. Every single one loves what they're doing. Every single one is vested in that genre. And thank goodness, because that's my family. Star Wars was life-changing. It changed my life. It made my hobby. It validated that what I believed could be a career became a career for me. Thank you, George Lucas. Thank you, Star Wars, and everybody involved in it. And bless you, Favreau, and your entire team for bringing the Mandalorian back and giving me hope. Okay? Because I was really starting to get sad and upset with what Disney was doing with the Star Wars franchise. And what had happened before just broke my heart. Just keep stomping me in the stomach and kicking me as you abuse my family called Star Wars. So that's how I'm feeling. And I agree with you, Bob. I think that you guys in DC are getting kicked in the stomach too, and it's not a good feeling. If you want to watch the greatest Batman film ever made, watch the animated film Mask of the Phantom. Well, I think, Adam, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask my husband, but I have a friend. I think he wrote the music for that, so we did see it. I have this thing where if I see a movie once, I don't remember it, so I can re-experience it the same way. But I'm thinking that one might be, I could be wrong. Chris might not have done the music soundtrack for it. But if he did, he sent us a copy and we watched it. But I would love to revisit it. You're right. I will check it out if I have not yet seen it. My husband probably has. Deanna says, my daughter went with my husband to see Wonder Woman, but he didn't. She's going to give me the rest of that, I'm sure. She had to go to Costco, I thought. Ava says, I met him years ago when he accidentally bumped into me and knocked me over. He is delightful. I think you're thinking about Clint Eastwood. Do you know, Ava, that is, see, he was nice, wasn't he? Yeah. I think because you guys went boom, what else is he, if he had been jerk, that would have been really sad, right? Nicolas Cage was also extremely sweet to me, especially gave me the opportunity. He didn't know that he gave me the opportunity, but he did. At the first D23, I was backstage and he brought his child back to meet the Jim Henson chickens, and I was the chicken operator. Henson had this fun joke they love to do because I do the Foster Farms chickens. They gave me chickens to do. Those wild and crazy Muppeteers. But he came back and his little boy wanted to meet the chickens because he loved the chickens. So I took my chickens to meet this little boy, realized it was Nicolas Cage's little boy, and looked up at Nicolas and said, by the way, you own one of my sculptures. And he just lost his mind. Like, I might as well have been Clint Eastwood for the way Nicolas Cage reacted. And maybe that's why I see every Nicolas Cage movie now, because the man is just so wonderfully sweet and kind. But he owns my original Chernobog that I did. He owns the original piece and he owns the drawing. And yeah, he bought them when he was at Disneyland. He saw them at the Disneyana store and went, mine. So I had always wanted to tell him that I was the artist. He was so excited. I mean, wow. It was cool. It was cool to see him get so excited. So that was fun. So you bump into somebody, you want them to be nice, don't you, Ava? Is my point, right? You want them to be nice. And thank you for saying that, because I believe Clint Eastwood will be nice. He will not disappoint me. Before anyone asks, when people ask me which side of the aisle I'm on, I'm a comic book fan. I love good stories, Marvel, DC, etc. Yeah, and Kingdom Hearts too. We know about you, man. Kenneth did a great job with Murder on the Orient Express and Thor. Yeah, the original, the new Thor was, yes. Let me just say yes. Let me not even push any harder. Just say I agree. I have to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier 2. I keep putting it off. It's actually, Joseph, if I had it to do it again, I would wait and just binge watch it. Because I think I would enjoy it more. In fact, after it's done, I'm going to binge watch it. But my husband can't wait that long. He wants to see them as soon as they drop. And I got to tell you, it's funny for me, because although I'm not invested in the genre, I have this thing about Bucky. I really, really like Bucky and the Winter Soldier. I just like Bucky a lot. I don't know if it's the actor or the way the character's written, or the fact that Captain America really loved Bucky. I don't know. I can't tell you. I just think the character of Bucky, something about Bucky is very touching and very cool to me. And he's not, he's not necessarily a handsome guy, but he's a beautiful guy. He's just a beautiful character. And I love the arc, and I love the torment. I just love it. I just really like that character. That character is special to me, and I worry about him an awful lot. I don't want him to be hurt. He went through a lot, and I just love this character a lot, as did the thing is, Captain America was never a character that I was into when I was young. I was really into Thor because he had blonde hair, blue eyes, winged helmet, and a hammer. I don't know. As a kid, I thought that was pretty interesting. But when they became live action people, the one that blew me away was the actor that they got to play Captain America. I have never seen anyone look as all American as this fella. This fella was like, if you found a dead ringer that looked like Uncle Sam. I mean, like, for real looked like Uncle Sam, not a fake beard and fake hair and a flag hat. American flag hat. But I mean a dude that you walk across the street and you go, yo, this was this person. You not only looked at him and thought Captain America, but you felt Captain America. And you just said, yeah. So much so that if you've seen Knives Out, it's hard to watch him in that, because he's so all-American. I think it worked okay, but I was suspicious of him right away, because I knew the actor probably wanted to work against type. Those are big shoes to fill as the Captain America. But boy, he really rocks it. We watched his origin Captain America story the other day, and it's still fabulous. You can't get over how much he is Captain America. As much as I thought Christopher Reeve was Superman, I felt this way about this fella. And I didn't think there was, buff and all that. But, with Christopher Reeve, you had to have that curl, that black jet black hair and that curl, the big S, but now during Winter Soldier, and I don't want to make a spoiler with it, the shield does not make Captain America. That's all I'm going to say. You can have that shield, but you're not Captain America just because you're holding the shield, okay? And he is it. Shield, no shield. You believed it through all the movies. You believed he was it just as much as you believe Downey Jr. as Stark. Can you think of anybody else that could be Stark? No, he was Robert Downey Jr. He is Stark. You know, there's just some that you see it. You've been hearing about it maybe as a kid, and then you go, doom, yeah. You know, I can't explain it, but it's yeah, you do. But you may want to binge watch it because it starts out a little slow, my husband says. So if you binge watch it, you won't feel that slowness. But if you're someone who's just like, you can't wait, then jump on it and run and go for it, you know? Seriously, watch the series will create great conversations about the whole concept of Captain America and what it stands for. Yeah, and it's cool. It's cool. We're not going to do spoilers here because it's still running, and even after it's gone. I mean, I haven't even done spoilers for WandaVision, and I'm ready to go back and watch that again because I really loved WandaVision. But yeah, Adam is right. You're going to have a great time, Joseph, watching it because you're into it. Speaking of big fish, watch Tim Burton's film of the same name if you want to see a beautiful story about a father and a son. Yeah, it's very good. And Big Fish, I think, is the one that has that super tall guy in it, isn't it? He's like 9 feet, 8 inches tall. I did Men in Black with that guy. That big. I think that was Big Fish that he was in. And I did a film with that guy. Super, super tall guy. Very sweet guy too. See, so I automatically think of that big giant man that was 9 feet, 8 inches tall. Whew, yeah. And I think it was Big Fish, Adam, that he was in. Tracy, don't worry. I cried at the train running as well, hearing the spiel and all the sounds of the train. I would give anything for a ride on Incredicoaster. It's coming. You don't have to give anything. It will happen, sweetheart. It will. It will, Tracy. You're going to be fine. Also, if any of you have Charter, Spectrum, HBO Max is included with your plan. Yeah, for a little bit. Watch that bill, okay, guys? Because it can change in a moment. So be sure to keep an eye on stuff like that, okay? I'm just saying. I love Mortal Kombat. And see, if you are a part of HBO Max, you join it, it carries you over into the next month. See, I don't know about the Michelle Pfeiffer movie, but mine might carry me over far enough that I'll get to see the Michelle Pfeiffer movie too. But if not, that would be the thing that tries to keep me paying. Okay, that's what they do. That's what they do. I remember having HBO when I watched HBO to watch Game of Thrones. And they always enticed me with Westworld. And when I was watching Westworld, they were always trying to get me to stay for Game of Thrones. So, and many times it worked. I won't even lie, because there are some really good series on HBO. So HBO Max has got it. And Adam's right. HBO Max also has a lot of Turner Criterion Collection and Turner Classic Movies. But I am an avid member of Criterion, and they are not inexpensive, but I watch Criterion's. You should ask my husband. I'm always on Criterion. And if I can't find anything on Criterion I want to watch, I default to Lone Wolf and Cub and Zato Eats the Blind Swordsman. So I'm always watching Criterion in the background with my ears or with my eyes. So he's right. Absolutely. He didn't like it. Now I'm trying to remember what that's about. I went, oh, Wonder Woman. Okay, I got it. You went. Okay. I'm back. Woo! Mondays. Yeah, he didn't like it. Yeah, my dad didn't either, Deanna. Okay. My father's favorite character in comic book history is Wonder Woman. But his Wonder Woman is not that lady. Okay, that lady is wonderful and she's fabulous. But if you're not Linda Carter, you are not Wonder Woman in my dad's book. So my dad, there's you guys may know the network or the channel. I don't know what they call them when they're on cable, but the cable channel called Me TV, and they show Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. He watches it. He watches it religiously. Yeah. She is and always will be my father's Wonder Woman. So I don't know how your husband feels about it, Deanna, if he likes Wonder Woman. But as far as my father is concerned, there is no other woman on Wonder Woman, and there never will be. It's kind of like people thinking, if they watch the Batman TV show, that there's only one Catwoman. Okay. And there is no other Catwoman. I personally like Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and I also like the young girl who played Catwoman in the series Gotham. The young girl, I just thought both of them were very striking and very compelling, and really embodied the character, along with, of course, some of the early TV series ones. You know, Julie Newmar, I think, was the one that everybody raves about as being the ultimate Catwoman in the television genre, and she was very good. So if you have your icons, for example, we were talking Lone Ranger, and is there anyone other than Clayton Moore that is the Lone Ranger? I don't think so. Clayton Moore was the Lone Ranger. I'm sorry, just my feeling. But you may have a different one. And I love that we're an American. You can tell me. Yes, indeedy. It says there is a Captain America style Uncle Sam, I Want You poster with Chris Evans doing the point. It's a great comparison you made, and his story is a great story. I got to tell you, I don't know where they found him. I don't go in that backstory stuff, but I remember when I saw him, I went, oh, my. Just, yeah. He hits. He's a direct boom. He's a hit. Yeah, I really think he's it. He's really it. And the actor who plays Thor, I like him too, but he's not. I mean, he's really good. He's really handsome. He really fits the bill as the god Thor. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about Chris Evans that you just can't. I mean, he's so all-American. He wouldn't be more all-American if he was holding apple pie. I don't know how the looks came to be the looks he has. God gave it to him, but oh boy, the casting director saw this, and we do too. And it's just amazing. Yeah, I love watching that first Captain America, that sweetness, that kindness, and then at the end, that man, yeah, just wow. That's all, and I agree with you. Wow. It was not the shield and the serum that made him a hero. It was his heart, and maybe that's why we love it, right? We love the guy. That's the thing. But we love lots of characters. We like Stark, and he's a stinker. He is a stinker. But I've loved Downey Jr. for a very long time. I was very, very sad when he was having his troubles. And I was very, very happy someone took a chance with him and put him in Iron Man, because he's really, speaking of rising out of the ashes, of rising, and I'm just so proud of him, and I'm so grateful, because he's so much fun to watch. One of my biggest guilty pleasure movies is Back to School, and he plays an amazing character in that. He's just so fun to watch, so funny. He's compelling. There's so many areas that he did as a young man that I knew he was going to rise and be amazing. And then he ran into some challenges with drugs, and we lost him for a while. And I'm so glad he came back. And I'm so glad that there was someone who believed in him to help him make that comeback, because I missed him. I really, really missed him. He is so good at what he does, and I love seeing him in films. So it was great to have him back as well. So, this is why I'm saying, you fall, you stumble, you get up, and hopefully there's a friend to help you. So I saw Godzilla versus Kong in a theater this week, says Joseph. It was pretty good, but not the greatest. Yeah. Thank goodness I did not see it in a theater. My husband probably would not have survived. Luckily, if it got boring for him, he could look at his phone, or he could get up and get a coffee. He really, no. But we love the Toho versions, and we don't understand how they can't get Godzilla. It's very simple. We love the old Godzillas with Mothra and Gojira and all the different characters, and we watch those religiously. So, I mean, we watch those as much as we can because we love those. And I watched Gojira and Godzilla, both the same movie, named differently, because I just love that one. I love the puppet that's in the background that has its jaw off kilter and its little tiny arms, and it's just adorable. And I love the fact that the lead guy, Raymond Burr, is Steve Martin. I mean, that just and Back to School, it's uh uh what is it? Steve Martin also, I think. And it's just hilarious. Or Dean Martin. It's one of those. It's one of those where they're all laughing because of the way it sounds. I love those kind of play on word things. Love it, love it, love it. Doug Bain, how are you? 3 women played Catwoman in the TV series. Everything about the TV series of Batman was so much more fun. And Doug, I got to give it to you. My little sister loves the Adam West version with Barry, the one who played Robin. On MeTV, the actor is on there, or was for a while, and I kept thinking it was kind of fun to see him sparkly introduce Batman. It was kind of neat. But my sister adored it. In fact, you could send away, I think it was through a cereal box, you could send away for a Batman button, a cape of Batman, and a hood. And she ran around the backyard as a little girl back in the day as that, being Batman. And she loved that series. And I loved, of course, I'm a big and now his name went out of my head, but I loved I just loved some of those characters because they were kind of, they were campy, but they were fun campy, weren't they? And then the fact the Batmobile came out of that cave, I don't know why I like that so much. I guess I like that more than anything. And many people like that design of that Batmobile. In fact, Barris is here, who built it. They still have the cars here in North Hollywood, so you can see those. It's really neat to see them on the Munster car too. So a lot of people love those. So they're with you, Doug, is what I'm saying. Many people are with you in that. Eartha Kitt played Catwoman, and I thought that was a really interesting spin on Catwoman as well. I've always been a Catwoman fan, but Michelle Pfeiffer is the one that I really like. In fact, I copied her outfit and did her outfit. Excuse me. I heard something hit my window. I hope it wasn't a bird, because I don't want any poor, sad, nearsighted birds crashing into the window. Incidentally, my favorite Catwoman from the original series is Eartha Kitt. Exactly. Yes. And she used to go, Batman. She used to talk like this, and I loved her as the Catwoman. Batman, we have you in our power. That's what I loved about her. So, see, I watch her. Yes, I do. Catwoman is good. Burt Ward, thank you. Thank you. Poor Burt. He's wondering, why can't she remember my name? Like Burt Ward's really watching. But hey, yeah, he holy moly Batman, or holy hot pants Batman, or holy silk stockings Batman, or holy Kit Kat Batman. You just Bert was all about this is your line, the word holy, and then all of these different things must have been in his script. Okay, Bert, this is what you say. He was awful cute, wasn't he? The sidekick goon. Yeah. Those TV shows are really fun. And it would be nice, it's not, I have to say, it's not past whoever owns those older shows to bring them back. It's not past them now. As people decide whether to sit in the armchair and watch a first run movie or go to the movie theater, I think you're going to see one thing change because of the pandemic. They're going to offer both. I think that it's a thing. I think it's very cool. One of the things I like about it is if you live in a town that doesn't necessarily get some of the more obscure films in your town, if you can see them on your streaming, that would be great. In fact, I would like it where you might be able to have a discount. They do that now on it, don't they? I think so. Where you can see movies that you didn't get to see and you can stream them now. But now, first run, if you could stream them and they are around, between $10 and $15, that could be great to do, because a lot of times there are towns. I know my best friend lives in a town where she doesn't get to see movies that she was really interested in because she likes some of the more gritty, sometimes heavier films, and they don't come to her town. But you're always going to see Endgame. That's always going to come, and a Star Wars is always going to show up. But she tends to like these ones with very strong story that sometimes don't quite make it. And she's always wanting to see those. I'm trying to remember the last one she really, really wanted to see, and it wasn't coming to her town. And so when I went to visit her, I took my screener with me, and that way she could watch it with me. As long as my screeners travel with me, it's okay. I cannot loan them out, but I can travel with them because they are attached to me. So you don't let them out, because if they're bootlegged for any reason, that's what you get. So we're very protective. But I took the screener with me and we watched it together. She and I watched it together. I can't remember which one it was recently, but it was something that she really, really wanted to watch. I know a while back she wanted to watch Sweeney Todd because for some reason in her community they weren't going to air Sweeney Todd, and we both love Sweeney Todd, and we love Johnny Depp as Sweeney Todd. We think that's one of our favorites. So she was very excited to see that. So this new thing that has happened because of the pandemic, I hope they don't it doesn't look like they're just going to erase it. It looks like they're going to have feet in both camps. For those of you who are in more remote areas that don't get all the first run movies, you'll now have the opportunity to have the first run movies. And I think that's great. Bob says, Zorro, Batman, horse or car, under the house, lot the same. Yeah, exactly. A little cryptic, but I think I got you. There, Bob. Bob Burdine says, I love the commitment all the actors brought to their roles in the original series. And it wasn't easy, was it? Adam West had some of the goofiest lines as the Batman, didn't he? You're like, kind of, but they just played it for keeps. Speaking of playing it for keeps, Wolverine. Did we talk about this? And the fact that Wolverine can be one of those things where it could just be so over the top. You go, seriously? Yet he brings it. He absolutely brings it to Wolverine. You believe it? Well, like Nicolas Cage and Ghost Rider. I mean, my goodness. You could easily play that tongue-in-cheek and make fun of it. But he doesn't. He really buys into it. Every actor buys into it. It's really, really a fun movie. Yes, it's a leave your brain at the door movie, but I like that brain at the door movie. He really does his best to sell it. He can be in some very strange little movies, but he sells it. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that to every actor who doesn't judge the movie that they're in. They say, I got this. I took the paycheck. We're going for it. All out, 110%. Boom, let's light this candle. And I'm very grateful for them for doing that. So I agree with you, Bob. Adam says they also have some of the most unique guest stars. Jerry Lewis made a cameo. And with the Green Hornet and Kato. Yeah. And then Kato was Bruce Lee for a while, wasn't he? Wow. Right? Bruce Lee. Wow. And just think, if they start pulling back, bringing us more of those Bruce Lee films, you never tire of watching Bruce Lee. You never tire of it. He is just so wonderful and good. and no one can duplicate him. I'm sorry. You know, he was unique unto himself and just really fascinating to see on camera. He was really, really so much fun to watch. Like Jackie Chan, actually. But Jackie Chan put humor to it. And I think Jackie Chan did a great transition from Bruce Lee when we lost Bruce Lee. Instead of trying to be Bruce Lee, he brought his own style in, and it was such a joy to watch, and it still is to this day. However, I'm sure he's feeling a little creaky. He's getting up there, and to do all of those stunts on his own can be challenging. And, you know, we may have to allow the man not to do quite so many stunts, so because he is getting up in years, but we sure love him, and we're always going to love Jackie Chan. I mean, I am anyway. I mean, I love Jackie Chan. So there you go. So my friends, thus brings us to a early closure. We did really well today. We're almost at 2 hours, and I am working to make them a little bit shorter as we open up in the pandemic and you guys have stuff to do. But I want you to know that I love these conversations that you share with me. I love you helping me and talking to me about these characters. And I want to thank you so much for joining me yet again and hanging tough, because you guys are simply amazing. You guys have a great time, a good day. If you want to be part of the Patreon page, patreon.com/CherryHarden, and join us for the Zoom call. And those of you who are patrons, we'll see you then. The rest of you, have fun. If you're getting those Disney tickets, remember 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday is when everybody can reach out for tickets if they live in California. Don't forget, follow Janice, study first, and I will see you soon. Okay? Do something nice for someone else. You'll feel so much better. So if you are depressed or feeling like you go down that rabbit hole, call someone you care about that you haven't talked to in a while. Have a chat with them. Send a nice note. Buy a coffee for the person behind you. It doesn't take a lot of money. You being nice will infect you and start to get you out of that depressing mood if you're there. I love you guys. Be safe, be strong, be you, and I'll talk to you soon.